From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, February 8th. It's going to be cooler, yet still above normal for Wednesday. Some cloud cover too. We'll stay rain-free until later tonight, and that's when widespread showers will slide in. Rain's going to be heavy at times, even some isolated rumbles of thunder, possibly south of Indy, so a really spring-like pattern. Rain picks up late tonight, as do the winds. It is not completely out of the woods, according to our Storm Track 8 weather team, for there to be potential isolated strong to severe storms in the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning, Thursday morning. The severe risk is for areas from Vincennes and points south. The main concern will be damaging winds. Highs are going to rise to the upper 40s. It's got to be noted, though, that temperatures will surge into the 50s after midnight Thursday. So when you wake up Thursday morning, it's going to be a lot warmer. The suspect in an Indianapolis police shooting is now charged with attempted murder. As we've reported, Christian Myers is accused of leading police on a chase that ended at Kessler and Binford late last month. Police say Myers fired at officers 3 times. He faces a total of 10 counts, including criminal recklessness and unlawful possession of a firearm. He's scheduled to appear in court again tomorrow at 2 p.m. An attorney for the Delphi murder suspect is asking a judge to delay 2 hearings. As we've reported, Richard Allen is accused in the February 2017 murders of Abby Williams and Liberty German. Allen's attorney, Bradley Rossi, made the request yesterday, saying the legal team hasn't received all of the information requested from the Carroll County prosecutor. Rossi requested to push back 1 hearing to discuss whether to set bail for Allen and a second hearing to prepare to pick a jury. Those are currently set for February 17th and March 20th, respectively. Indianapolis Animal Care Services is asking for help to find whoever stabbed a cat. Someone found the cat in a neighborhood on the near southeast side yesterday. A word of warning, if you go online to see the pictures, the X-ray is pretty graphic. It shows just with clarity how the cat was stabbed. The shelter says somebody stabbed the cat with needle-nose pliers. Workers removed the pliers and are caring for the cat. The cat survived. They say it's critically injured, though, and the next 24 hours will give staff a better idea of its progress. Newly released documents show one of the Memphis, Tennessee police officers involved in Tyre Nichols' death took pictures of Nichols and shared them. The state commission is looking into the case and released the documents yesterday. According to the commission, Demetrius Haley stood over Nichols after he was beaten last month and took photos, then sent the photos to other officers and an acquaintance. And President Biden is challenging lawmakers to complete the work of his administration on things like taxes, assault-style weapons bans, and climate change. His State of the Union address also spotlighted political divisions. This was the first time President Joe Biden gave the address in front of a Republican Speaker of the House. And another first was the heckling from some GOP lawmakers. Still, the president vowed to finish the job of rebuilding the economy and bringing the country together.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
The State of the Union is strong.
A positive message.
But let's finish the job. There's more to do.
That was the president's approach.
And 2 years ago, democracy faced its greatest threat to the Civil War. And today, though bruised, our democracy remains unbowed and unbroken.
Show strength and resilience through the pandemic and call for unity.
Democracy must not be a partisan issue. It's an American issue. I signed over 300 bipartisan pieces of legislation since becoming president. If we could work together the last Congress, there's no reason we can't work together and find consensus on important things in this Congress as well.
Still, the shadow of investigations into the White House's handling of classified documents hung over the speech.
Some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority.
And so did conflict among Congress.
Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you, I enjoy conversion.
The president also focused on police reform, abortion rights, and gun issues.
Ban assault weapons now. Ban them now.
Plus, he addressed tensions with China and America's global leadership.
If China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did. It's never, ever been a good bet to bet against America. Never.
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders delivered the GOP address from Little Rock, Arkansas.
So forgive me for not believing much of anything I heard tonight from President Biden. From out-of-control inflation and violent crime to the dangerous border crisis and threat from China. Biden and the Democrats have failed you. They know it, and you know it. And it's time for a change.
Change or finish the job.
We're the United States of America, and there's nothing beyond our capacity if we do it together.
United or divided, these leaders are all looking to the future.
Again, that was Hannah Mordeau reporting. President Biden said the phrase "finish the job" at least 13 times. And day 3 begins in the search for earthquake survivors in Turkey and Syria. While the death toll climbs, so does the number of rescues. Crews searching in Turkey and across the region have pulled thousands from the rubble, including multiple children. Aid continues to pour in from countries and agencies around the world. The United Nations released $25 million from its emergency fund yesterday to help kickstart the humanitarian response in both countries. The death toll now tops 11,000. That was the newest number released just this morning. Officials are still warning that number could still rise. They also say more than 40,000 people have been injured. Indiana is a top 10 state for sports betting and looks to have a big Super Bowl weekend. That's the take from a gambling industry analyst ahead of Sunday's game. The Indiana Gaming Commission says the Indiana sports betting handle last year was more than $4 billion, with football at the heart of much of it. Casino Horseshoe Indianapolis says it's already taken more than 1,000 bets on the Super Bowl, with several days still left to go. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar passes the torch, ceremonially handed last night's game ball to the new all-time NBA leading scorer, LeBron James. James scored his 38,388th point with 10 seconds to go in the third quarter against the Thunder last night, breaking the record by 1 point. Abdul-Jabbar had been the league's all-time scorer since April 5th, 1984, almost 9 months before James was even born. And to business headlines, first reaction to President Biden's State of the Union address. President Biden was upbeat on his economic policies in last night's address. He called for increasing taxes on the wealthiest Americans. Biden continued his crusade against unnecessary junk fees from banks, airlines, cable companies, and other industries, which adds surprise costs to consumer bills. The IRS has proposed a revenue procedure this week to crack down on the service industry's reporting of tips and collect tax revenue from those many service industry workers, like those in restaurants, who rely on tips to supplement their hourly pay, which is usually below minimum wage. Consumers are becoming more cautious. Bankrate says it's seeing ample evidence that Americans are becoming more reluctant to make certain purchases, especially larger expenses, and acquiring physical goods. Even with a pullback on big purchases, Americans are still using credit cards, though, with credit card balances recently hitting a record high. The number of chicken wings expected to be consumed this year is 2% to a total of 1.5 billion chicken wings consumed Sunday. For perspective, 1.45 billion chicken wings are enough to give every man, woman, and child in the U.S. 4 wings apiece. Chicken wings also won't break the bank this year since prices have decreased from where it was a year ago. New pet parents should be prepared to spend more than $500 in upfront costs when bringing home a new 4-legged family member. And that's just the start. Conducted by OnePoll on behalf of Healthy Paws Pet Insurance and Foundation, it showed the average respondent spent more than $1,100 in the first 6 months of pet parenthood. The items are beds, doctors, and grooming appointments, and pet-proofing their homes. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.